welcome to Behind the Joystick. We are in season 2, and I really hope you enjoyed last Friday's episode. Today, we get to sit down and talk to one of my favorite content creators in the entire universe, CGDannyB. He does different things from indie to podcast, you name it, this guy has worked in that area. For his expertise in the space, and I had to pick his brain. So if you were looking to become a content creator or looking to figure out what the indie space has to offer in the gaming space, stick around, and I hope you enjoy.
Of PAX. How have you enjoyed it so far?
It's been really fun. It's been great. PAX 2024 was our first PAX, and it was 4 of us. We got together. It was my first panel with Jacob McCourt doing the DS retrospective, and planning all that out and getting it together was a lot of work. And then the year in between was okay, what did we get to do last time? What did we not get to do? How do we improve what we spend time doing, and et cetera? How do we get to hang out with friends more instead of spending the day being exhausting? Like, we're just gonna go home and whatever, and getting the FOMO of not being with friends. So it was a lot of fine-tuning that and just doing it better this year, and then getting more content out of it, putting my content out while I'm here. And then friends be like, how you doing that already? I'm like, CapCut. CapCut, bitches, is done.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
you
out.
were quick and swift. It was I think an hour after the interview, boom, video.
Some of them were easy to slap out. The other ones, I'm like, let me do this tonight, because each one now I recorded the day before they came out. So I did the Desktop Survivors was Thursday, went up Friday. Gigasword was Friday, went up Saturday or something like that. But it's been a matter of just knowing how I'm gonna do it first. And I brought the whole tripod. It just felt like it was so awkward. Just be set up the camera and stare at the camera. Instead, it was selfie mode. Hey, we're doing the thing. Look at you. I have a question. Yeah. All right, we're good. Hey, check out the game. And then just YouTube downloader, get the trailer on my phone, slap it in CapCut, put the logo on, captions.
It was done.
Yeah.
Now, you were talking about video game trivia night from last year.
Yeah.
And compared to this year, do you think it was more this year than last year? Or
more?
What do you think the outcome of crowd-wise? People-wise?
Ooh, good question.
Because this one, they were kicking people out.
Oh, were they?
They were.
Because it was too full?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Even though I had 2 seats by me and I didn't bite, but apparently the enforcers was no, she bites. She needs a seat here and a seat here. But yeah.
I didn't know that. I'll have to ask Jacob. I didn't know people got kicked out, because from this, the room was full. Last year, I think we had a bigger room, so it felt emptier because we could see the empty seats. But this year, I definitely felt like there wasn't an empty room. And I know Jacob specifically is always just oh no, what if people don't show up? Or we knew for a fact we'd have at least 20, 30 people with our group, being the Boss Rush, Asa, Respawn Aim Fire, or Adam Gumby.
All of them, they were
the
there.
rest of you Respawn Aim Fire guys don't come out to PAX, losers.
Why
Gumby's
not?
the only good one.
Yeah.
But no, knowing those people will be there, and they actually got in way too early in the force. You just got a bunch of friends. The guys are going to show up anyway, and they're going to sit in the front row. Yeah, just why are we crying about it? Let them in.
Just let them in. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I definitely felt the energy this time, and it's video game trivia versus the DS retrospective, right? Which was a lot more of a, we're talking, here's what we picked, now debate us on what should or should not be on the list, versus the entire time the audience is playing along with us. And then I don't know when James got the video out, so I won't spoil in case you haven't seen it, you want to watch from home, but getting to see the audience play along and get answers, and we're what did they just answer? That's not a real game. They didn't pick a real thing.
Right.
And then get it right, you're okay, never mind, we'll shut up.
Now, to spoil it, not to spoil it, the last game that they chose for the Zoomies.
No clue. Yeah.
The
I had
one
to
with
remember.
the dinosaur?
Yeah.
That was, nobody next to me got it. I was wait, I know that game. And then as soon as they said it, I was makes sense.
I sat there because I want you guys to guess at home, because I couldn't tell you right now the name of the game. I could tell you what franchise it was, the random pack-in game was from, but I couldn't remember the title. But I sat there, I was oh, that's Snapdragon. That's Snapdragon from the Mac 99 computer classes in elementary school. And it's not what it was.
No.
But that was going to be my guess.
The Dragon Tales
Listen,
died. I was
it was a good pick.
It was, yeah.
I was going to be shout out to Dragon Tales Hide and Seek on the PS1. Not what it was.
Now, to kind of jump off of, I guess, the PAX side, you started a podcast.
See.
Yeah. So, how's that been?
It's good. It started from PAX last year, a few weeks, because now last year's PAX was March, this year's was May, so we had a few weeks between, but realistically would have lined up that we had been doing the podcast for a year if PAX was what it normally would have happened. But yeah, we left PAX last year. Well, I guess, back to Jacob's panel. We did the panel last year.
Yeah.
And it was like Brendan Groom, like, hey, I'm on Pass the Controller. Dave, hey, I'm on Tales from the Backlog. Jenny with, Geeks and Grounds and the Indie Council. And I'm like, I'm CGDannyB. I like indie games. I need a podcast.
Right? You're like, everyone else has an indie podcast. I want an indie podcast.
Scott, and Scott, if you're watching, I totally forget the podcast. I'm sorry. We didn't keep up as much after the year, but you're still a great person. And then Jacob was just like, I have 17 podcasts that I'm going to talk about real quick.
Right.
So I was like, I'd always had Playlog, which was a podcast we did just scattered. It was just like, we both played Resident Evil Village, let's talk about it for a couple hours. We both played Ratchet and Clank, let's talk about it for a couple hours. We did Sifu, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like, they were just episodes. And we ended up, as I started covering indie games more, I was like, I have somebody online I want to talk to. I was like, post-PAX, the energy's there.
Right.
They made a video. Topher, my podcast partner, was just like, made a video like, hey, I'm working, I'm playing games, I'm making content, I'm finding I just don't have time to play games, so I'm going to stop doing this, but go watch Danny instead. He does the same thing, but better. And like, as I get this video, I was like, Topher, wait, I want to ask you a question.
Right,
and
don't quit on me now.
Yeah, I was like, so you want to do a podcast? You're like, yes, please. And it was a growing pain of like, what do we do? What does this podcast look like? And our podcast, because I built it from the ground up, inspired by Kinda Funny's work from home formula. And which is like most podcasts now. If you go to any video podcast, it's what they most look like. It's the 2 face cams on the screen, or the however many we switch to another scene, you have the beat roll behind like that's the format. That's what I wanted to build on. That's how it's been. There's some audio things I would love to switch around and make better one way or the other. And we have plans to adjust those things as Topher makes some adjustments. But yeah, it's been great to basically just be in a spot of each week is I get to come home, I get to talk about the games that I've played, and I get to look at sit down with Topher and be like, hey, what have you played? What have I played? And have a conversation where my friends play video games, they don't play indie games like I do.
Right.
So it's usually just being like, I'm playing this game and I'm doing a thing and da-da-da-da. And like, oh, that sounds cool. Versus Topher, who's like, I've played a game and it's a lot like this. And he's like, I played that game, so we can bounce off like what that looks like. We just did our Star Vaders review where we talked about how much we both enjoyed that and how much fun it was. So I'm like, I get to talk to someone about it with the occasional like, Kanai's here with me this weekend. This coming week will be us talking about what we did at PAX, and then right back to Topher the next week so we can continue to do what we do with indie games. And yeah, it's a blast.
That's
having
awesome.
it. Yeah.
Now, for like this podcast that we're shooting on, it's more of like esports space and like kids that want to be professional gamers, or they want to be like coaches in that space. But like, I wanted to raise more awareness to like, for people that are in that space, that there's other outlets like the indie gaming scene and content creations and stuff. And from my research on you, this is what you do for a living. Like, this is like the battles, the ins and outs of editing, probably by yourself.
Yep.
The scheduling it, the hoping for the best, reaching out to sponsors, and like, where would you say for someone who is starting out in early 20s, trying to get into this like content creation space, what would you say is like your bread and butter?
Man, good luck, y'all. There's a lot. There's a lot. No, absolutely. It's not easy, and like grand scale, yes, being a content creator is a lot easier than other jobs. There's manual labor. There's working 40 hours or 80 hours a week doing who knows what desk job, crazy. Those things happen. Yeah. I am in no way like some mega lucrative content creator or whatever. I make enough to pay my bills. Yeah. And that's great. That's fine. But obviously, I'll do more luxurious thing, and we build to that, and we work on that. But yeah, it's I think the big thing is finding your niche, which is such a annoying thing to respond with.
Yeah, it's the worst fun word in the entire world.
Yeah, and like one of the big things for me is like streaming. I still stream on Twitch, and I have my audience who likes to watch a Danny thing, but it's still such a small audience who wants to watch live or can, right? Because I have I have a larger high school, middle school audience as they get into high school and they have, jobs, sports, etc. They have people graduating high school, going to college, graduating college, getting into the workforce, and like that availability they had it 2-3 years ago is not there now. So people move on, but it's getting new people in, and those younger people want the Minecraft, the Roblox, the Fortnite, and I'm not fucking with that. So it's just like, how do I get them in here? Right. So watching the Twitch numbers just kind of dwindle where you're playing niche indie games all the time, but like I'm progressively seeing YouTube and TikTok do better
Right.
And it's like, what do I need to do on Twitch to stand out more? Because anybody can sit down in front of a camera and just say, I'm playing a game, and be like, why is it working for someone else? That's not me, right?
Right.
I've had so many days I'm just like, I love Queso. I think Queso's a really funny streamer.
Yeah.
But grand scale, the biggest thing Queso does is have his messages on so his chat can call him fat.
Yeah.
Like that is the standout thing, and that's what makes people gravitate to him, because they can bully him and take out their aggression and be like, we got him, right? And again, that's no shot at Queso. Queso does great stuff.
Yeah.
But then I look at like Kai, who like Kai is built to a point, like he doesn't just sit and play the video game, it's an event. Kai doing anything on Twitch is a moment, there's something happening. We're not just put on the face cam, put on the gameplay and run it, right? Like there's things that become more entertaining, become event, whether that's a guest star, whether that's setting up the whole room to look like an Elden Ring setting, like those are things that, not to Kai's degree, but I'm like, I want to just Twitch, so I'm not just getting on to play a game, I'm doing a thing, right? Like we did Boro from Wanderstop playing Wanderstop, which was like, and people like that. So like, this is really cute. I'm like, cool, this is more of an event than it is just Danny playing insert game here.
But see, also you, out of like a majority of creators in the space that are like on the same degree, they, once I see, they'll go off and they complain all over Twitter on their viewership and how they can't do anything, and then they just don't talk, they don't do any role play, and they just sit on Twitch for like 8 to 10 hours. But then you're here 6 hours, you role play with the Elmo, you've got Elmo going on, you do the Wonder Stop, you have like a lot of like aspects that integrate and like make your viewers react to you in the same force. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like that's not like your milk and butter, but being consistent, finding your niche, and being enjoyable to sit and watch is more of like something that, you know, people need to understand.
Sure, 100%. And I think, again, with the streamer thing, and you watch, again, we'll bring up a Queso or a Kai, where like, if they have their chat in the screen, you're seeing that thing fly. And I think people are in this spot of, if I'm not seeing my chat move, I'm like dead. Like, why is nobody watching me? A lot of my streams are lurkers. Yeah. And like, that's acknowledgeable. Big thing for streamers, turn off the viewer count. So irrelevant. Like, it's important. Turn it off. It's just going to bug you the entire time. It just means, because you're just watching, like, are people here, are people not here? If your whole thing is, I'm only entertaining when people are here, you're doing the wrong thing. You're in the wrong place. Right. A big thing I think that worked for me is we started doing YouTube Let's Plays and Twitch at the same time. So I was like, bring the Twitch energy of me talking to an invisible audience of nobody to a YouTube video. So if that's leaving engagement for the comments, people be like, oh yeah, he asked a question at 15 minutes and 20 seconds. Like, let me answer the question. And if they don't, oh well, at least I'm still entertaining for the video. Right. I stopped doing Let's Plays years ago because I felt that is such a saturated thing, where like, if Silk Song comes out next week, it's not, I don't even know if it's coming out ever. That comes out next week, and Danny does a Let's Play on YouTube, but also Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Ludwig, they do their Let's Plays. Everyone's going to watch them before they go, let's watch Danny play Silk Song. Right. Because Danny's still here, not here.
But you do have the disadvantage of like your indie outlet, because no one wants, I mean, yeah, Markiplier played like Papa's Playtime. Yeah. And, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's like, no one sees Markiplier playing an indie game. Right. Yeah. So like they mainly play like the bigger games, the games that they know that like people are excited about this game, and we're going to play this game. But no one does, we're going to play a little game, we're going to see how it goes, and then, oh, holy crap, there's a whole entire community over here talking about this game. And
absolutely. And that's how like most indie horrors, like most horror games now, are indie games. And I feel like that almost goes without saying at a point, if you're in the need, if you're like, I like watching horror games, and I get my Silent Hills, I get my Resident Evils, and speaking out of turn, I don't watch Mark that much. I don't know if he's done Silent Hill or Resident Evil, but I know he's done Poppy, I know he's done Bendy, I know he's done I'm doing 3 horror games in one video, like those have happened. And he plays a shit ton of indie horror games, and people love that. But I don't see Mark being like, I'm playing indie games. Like, my thing is to make sure people know this is a small team, make it a small thing that you should check out.
And you're more into that space. You're more like, hey, these are actual people. This isn't an AI generated game. Right. And they're just hoping for the best to make big bucks. Yeah. You're like, no, these guys have corporate jobs and they have fun with this game, and you should check out this game.
Yeah, you should play this game. Yeah.
That's absolutely really cool. So what do you think your plan will be for like after PAX?
I took a nap. Long ass nap. I'm so tired. Great question. I don't know. Like, I know we'll do our PAX podcast episode of like, what did we play at PAX? What was our Boston like? Getting to see friends and, you know, what interactions we had, funny moments, etc. I know some events coming up that I'm looking forward to that I'm hoping to get around to that we can't talk about anytime soon. We'll see. But yeah, I'm hoping to just continue to do this, having made the connections here, right? Like I have my little box of business cards. I'm like, hey, it was great to meet you at PAX. If you want to follow up on anything, like it was great to see your game. I know one developer we've talked a little bit about, like what received some keys that we want to cover. I don't know when this is coming out. In a month. Okay, cool. Then by then, I should have already done a stream. I'll be doing Spray Paint Simulator on the Whitethorn Twitch channel next week, so the 29th, I think, which I'm looking forward to. I have to figure out the ins and outs. We picked a date, so I know what we're doing with that. But we want to get in the habit, we being Topher and I, of getting more devs on the podcast. Like, let's talk about your game, because we just did Spill the Beans with Skeletal Games and their visual novel. I'm like, this is great. This is awesome. Yeah. I have a few I need to reach out to, and I'm like, hey, their release date's coming up. I should really get on that and ask the question if you want to come on the podcast and do a thing. But yeah, I think the immediate direction with developers is the next thing we want to aim to do more. Just because we can talk about the indie games and make a video and be like, hey, we did the thing. But I think if people hear, hey, I made this game and here's where it came from, I think it always hits more. Yeah. Because I'll always start a developer interview with like, where'd this game come from? What happened? Like, I just had a conversation downstairs with Tanuki. I was like, where'd this come from? He's like, I live in Japan, love riding bikes, and I wanted to build a world that was like this, but it's a Tanuki who's doing like, and he was very like, here's what we've created, or here's what I've created and why and where it came from. And I love those stories. And I always want the like, I was sitting at my warehouse job and I pulled out a napkin and I drew this little stick man. I'm like, he's kind of cute. I'm gonna make a game out of it. Like, wait, what happened, right? And I think it's such a
thought process behind
the cinematic movie, the biopic moment of like, I'm gonna go do this for myself. Like, I want that moment to know where did you say this is where we're going next to where you are now. Yeah, and I think those are fun.
That's awesome. So usually, I guess like at the end of these, I ask, what would you say to like someone, like what would be one advice you would give someone going into like this business, like into indie podcasting, content creation side? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would say you got to start, and you got to just, the whole thing is to grow. If you're, I've had too many people who, I'm starting Twitch, I got all the overlays and the bits and the pop-ups and you're not going to start streaming with 40 people in your chat. Yeah. We're going to be popping off those alerts. You're jumping in guns blazing with too much stuff before you even know what you're doing and what you like. I know people who have bought the mics and the lights and the cameras and everything to hop in and be ready for content creation, to find out they don't like it. Now they just have a $1,000 pile of junk in their office that they're not going to use. Yeah. I think it's great if you have a webcam, any kind of junky little shit to get started, great, do it. Do TikTok. Like, TikTok kind of sucks now with discoverability. It depends who you are. Maybe you get lucky. Yeah. But like, if you're going live on Twitch, ending your stream and say, I'll be live again in 3 days, and then just do that, and then you're letting your VODs expire. Like, you're taking any ability to be discovered on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and just throwing it out the window. You're doing nothing with yourself. So, start easy, build up, save your clips, make TikToks, put your VODs on YouTube on a small channel just to keep them out there so people can find them, and just do that repeatedly. Yes, it's gonna sit at 0 for a long time. I have a VODs channel that has like 40 subscribers versus my like almost 4.2K or something on like the main channel, which is not a lot, but it's more than we were last year. So it's a growth thing, and if you just try to do one thing in one spot, it's gonna do nothing for you. Again, unless you're lucky, but.
Now, what would you say to you going into this? Post CGDannyB.
Danny, you gotta start alone, man. You gotta start alone. We started as a group channel, and to this day, I hang out with Connor and Kanai, hang out with the guys every single day, love them to death. We started as a group, Couch Gnomes, it was 3 guys. We started playing Dead Rising. Let's just do whatever and play games every Friday night on stream, and it was great. But as I just said, there was like, you can't just go live on Twitch and expect to grow. Right. And that's ultimately what the rest of the group wanted to do.
So I had to make an ending to this episode. My mic ended up giving out, but all the stories and everything that we talked about with Danny is amazing. He's a talented guy, and if you want to learn more about him or the things he does in the space, all the description for his information is going to be down below. Also, I'd like to announce that we made a Patreon. I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, we launched the Patreon. You're more than welcome to check it out. We've also launched shirts. It's just the beginning shirts. I cannot wait for what we have to cook. It has been such a long process, but I feel like right now is the best time to even drop anything. So, link for the Patreon, link for the merch, it's going to be down below. And thank you for sticking around. I hope that the rest of season 2 is something great, something different, and hopefully you get to learn a little bit more about not just the space, but what you're more passionate about in the gaming space. It's small, tight niche, a big, broad community, a big industry, and most of us, if not all of us, are here with open arms. If you have any questions or know anybody that you feel that would be great for the podcast, or want to give a little spotlight to them, it's down below. Tag them, shoot them an email, send them our way. We'll be more than happy to reach out and discuss more about what they do in this space. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you Friday. Bye!